Hello, my name is Kiriarth, and today we are going to have a little chat about what this potential new chaos thing might be. Is it a new model? Quite possibly. This is something that you guys have spammed the shit out of me with all day, so thank you for that. Originally from Fate212, or at least that is where most of you linked me to, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting, to be honest. It's impossible to tell scale. Let's start off with that. It will be in front of you right now, the picture that I'm talking about, provided I remember to edit it in, which of course I will, professional as always. And I honestly, from the detail in the picture and the complete lack of correct scaling, it's a bit tricky to tell what it is, but there are a few things that you can quite easily see. It obviously has a massive Star of Chaos on the side. It looks like there are 6 legs, not 8, so it's unlikely to be a replacement for a Defiler, if indeed it does turn out to be a new model, which, I'll be honest, with stuff like this, it's more... When I say it's more likely than not, Games Workshop seems to have gotten out of the habit of putting things that you quite simply cannot get hold of in artwork. That is a practice that has slowly but steadily faded away, and generally speaking, if you see something in an official picture, the chances are that is something that is either going to be available or is available at this time. And if we are in fact seeing some sort of Chaos release this year, which is more than likely, I mean Chaos is kind of overdue, and we do have that 80-day countdown, which is however many days in at this point. I should really check before saying that, but sure, it's fine. Let's say, let's ballpark it and say I think the last time I talked about that, it was I guessed about 63 days, something like that. It could well have been nothing like that, but let's say now just to mess it up a little bit, 58 days. I don't think it's been that long since the last time I talked about it, but it's fine. Whatever this is, it's quite clearly spider-like in appearance. You've got 6 spiky legs. You've got a kind of a bulbous back end, an armoured bulbous back end. Take that as out of context as you wish. Do with it as you will, you filthy-minded lot. And it's kind of difficult to see what kind of weapons it has, if any. I mean, it's quite clearly not any of the things that we currently have access to. It's not a Mauler Fiend, a Forge Fiend. It's definitely not a Helldrake because it's not flying, and it's got, legs. I did demand, effectively, a new Defiler model, but it doesn't look like that either. It doesn't have enough legs. It doesn't have enough limbs. And although the detail is not great on this bit of artwork, it doesn't look like there's a massive battle cannon sticking out. A couple of people who sent this to me said maybe it's some sort of kind of equivalent to the Blight Hauler or something like that, which is, I think, plausible. It's possible. The main problem is just the lack of scale. It'd be a lot easier to make a kind of an educated guess as to what this thing could be, should it turn out to be a model, which, to be honest, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. It seems like the kind of cheeky teaser that Games Workshop likes doing, and sticking just random unreleased stuff that you can't buy in artwork is definitely a practice that's fallen off over the years. It's kind of tricky to draw any kind of proper comparison because, I mean, either that is a toy Land Raider that is in the image as well, or it's the special one-man version of the Land Raider whereby there is just a single dude sat in the centre of it because it's way smaller than it should be. I don't know whether that's a perspective issue, but the lads behind, kind of chunky compared to how small that Land Raider is. There's definitely a little bit of, shall we say, mixed perspective going on there. It's not as far forward as it should be to be that size against those guys. Or we're going to get, Chaos Giants in Warhammer 40k. That is also possible. It's not possible. It's a stupid idea. If we go by the Marine in the back, by the spidery thing, then it's not that much bigger than a Marine. It's, more of a small vehicle. But then again, the guy in the back, if you compare to the Land Raider in the front, must be at least 20 feet tall, so who fucking knows? To be honest, it does kind of hint at something. It's what it does is the main thing, is the main kind of question, and I would kind of hope that we're not getting back into that territory of just throwing out random pictures of stuff that never come to fruition. I mean, I mentioned the Defiler earlier. The Defiler was in the Codex for so long before you could actually buy a model for it. It was kind of ludicrous, and that is a practice they've definitely steered away from. Admittedly, this obviously isn't in a Codex, but it fits. It fits the current aesthetic for Demon engines. It fits the kind of general mold that we have for the Forge Fiend, Maulfield, Helldrake, Hellbrute, all of that shit. It fits all of that, and it is closer to that than any of the... I'd say it's closer to that than some of the new Death Guard stuff. It feels a little bit more standard Chaos than Death Guard Chaos, if that makes sense. It's interesting. Impossible to tell what it is or what it does from this distance and from this picture, but it could well actually turn out to be a new Chaos vehicle of some kind, or Demon engine of some kind, which would be kind of neat. I would like to see that range expanded a bit. To be honest, I'd like to see the Demon engine side of things explored a little bit more, as opposed to, just there's something to replace like Predators and stuff like that, because that stuff breaks down over time. I'd like to see some sort of Chaos replacement for that, as opposed to just using the same gear as Space Marines when it comes to certain battlefield roles, shall we say. But yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments down below, because you might have an idea that I don't have. You may have read something about some sort of Demon engine that I've never heard of, that fits. But yeah, interesting. It'd be interesting to see if it turns out to be anything. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, before you go anywhere, I'm streaming right now at twitch.tv/Kirioth, so if you fancy listening to some badly played rock and metal, then, head over, say hello, get yourself a drink in the process, because I tend to get remarkably drunk whilst I'm playing that game on stream, because why not? It's fun. So yeah, come over to twitch.tv/Kirioth right now, where I'll be streaming. If you don't want to do that, then feel free to click any of the links in front of you, Patreon, subscribe videos, all that shit. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And I will see you either on the stream or for the next video. Toodaloo.